There are many heroes who have given their lives for this country. Today, I want to remember Travis Manion with his story in Iraq. Before his final deployment to Iraq, Marine First Lieutenant Travis Manion left his family with a powerful motivation as to why he was going back into the fight. If not me, then who? He said. But on April 29th, 2007, the experienced Iraq War veteran ambushed with his fellow Marines while searching a suspected insurgent house in the Al Anbar province. His father, Colonel Tom Manion, remembers.
Travis was the only one that didn't make it back, but I know he'd be proud to know that his actions saved the lives of everyone in that patrol that day.
Travis's best friend, Navy SEAL Brendan Looney, breaking down while honoring the hero.
I was lucky enough to room with Travis at the Naval Academy for 2 years. In a very short time, he became another brother to me. He was a great friend, and I'll forget him. I miss him.
Brendan would make that same ultimate sacrifice just 3 years later on another battlefield in the mountains of Afghanistan. Now, brothers forever, buried side by side in Section 60 in Arlington National Cemetery, a bond once honored by President Obama.
The friendship between First Lieutenant Travis Manion and Lieutenant Brendan Looney reflects the meaning of Memorial Day.
And those 5 simple words, etched in stone, serving as a mantra to inspire others into service. And for the first time, his sister, Ryan Manion, who now runs the foundation in his name, sharing footage of her brother returning in a flag-draped coffin, bringing back memories of pain and grief, and also of pride and gratitude. And we are now joined by Ryan Manion. Ryan, thank you for sharing that very personal video of Travis coming home. What are your reflections this Memorial Day weekend?
Wow, it was, to watch that, it brought back a lot. And I think, for me, I always say every day is Memorial Day. I think about my brother and the men and women he served and sacrificed with every single day. But I think it's an incredible time for us to come together as a country and pay our respects and celebrate the freedoms that we hold so dear by honoring these men and women. And if it's one day out of that year, make sure you do something on that day to remember and reflect on their service and sacrifice.
And when we watch Travis coming home in that video that you shared, I want to talk about the pride and gratitude that you felt. He was doing what he wanted to do. He did it because he didn't want someone else to be in his shoes having to carry that fight on.
Absolutely. My brother was a proud Marine who deployed to Iraq not once but twice, and he loved what he was doing. He was proud to be a Marine. He loved serving with the men and women that he served with. And at the end of the day, I think for all of us, we're so proud. And when I wrote that post and I shared that video, I said, I'll never forget the sadness that I felt that day when Travis came back from Iraq in the flag-draped coffin. But I'll never forget that sense of pride. Pride for what my brother represented, the best that this country has to offer.
We visited his grave this morning in Arlington National Cemetery. You were kind enough to let us follow along with our cameras because you're doing something called the Honor Project. What is it?
The Honor Project was started actually last year by a young woman named Emily Dominique. It wasn't the Honor Project yet. It was a young woman who went to visit her grandfather at Arlington and sent out a tweet and said, hey, how can I help those that can't be here? I'll visit your loved ones' graves. She was inundated with requests, visited over 60 grave sites that day, joined up with us after Memorial Day last year and said, you guys know how to put things together, you know how to bring out volunteers, and we have now formed the Honor Project. We have over 300 volunteers that are going to be visiting 4,000 graves in Arlington.
We see you with your father, Colonel Tom Manion, and your son, Travis, named after your brother.
That's right. We were able to bring my son and my father and I went to place a flag at Travis's grave this morning. And, when I look at my son there, 7 years old, named after his uncle, it's a reminder for me that we need to make sure that this next generation understands the sacrifices that were made. They understand what our military men and women represent to this country.
And what they're placing at the tombstones is this flag. You can see the Travis Manion flag here. You actually gave me a high honor to place one. General Kelly's tombstone, his son died in 2010, Robert Kelly. Remarkable stuff, all intended to inspire the next generation to service.
Absolutely.
You're seeing now, it's quite remarkable to step foot just in the first place in Arlington National Cemetery, but to go to General Kelly's son's gravesite, and after we heard a few years ago General Kelly talking about the loss of his son, and he says, you know, we all lose people, but really when you lose someone like a son in combat, it's a whole different level.
It is. I mean, I think you're mixed with this sense of, again, pride and sadness, you know, but at the end of the day, these men and women were doing what they loved. Each and every one of them, post 9/11, stepped up, raised their right hand, and volunteered to serve. And so I have so much gratitude for what they represent to this country as a whole, and we can learn so much from their stories.
I have learned so much from you and from the Travis Manion Foundation and from your family, your father, from Krista Foy, who has kept me running marathons for you. I think I've run 7 Marine Corps marathons for you now. But really, I think the thing that's so special about, and just in the time we have left, special about what you've tried to do with your foundation is to instill a different, higher standard of character in all Americans.
Yes, and you know, the 5 words my brother spoke before he left for his second tour was, if not me, then who? He spoke those words when he was asked why he had to go back. And we've taken those 5 words and we've turned them into a mantra that we want to employ every American to live by. Imagine if all of us woke up every day and asked ourselves to live by those 5 words, if not me, then who? Asked ourselves to, again, strive for higher character, to be citizens of change in our own backyards.
A powerful mantra, a powerful weekend. Ryan Manion, thank you for your family's service, for all you're doing with the Travis Manion Foundation. You can go to travismanion.org and check it out. She has a podcast as well. You can find The Resilient Life. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Griff. Very
Griff.
special weekend.
Thanks for all you do.
We'll be right back from the Iwo Jima Marine Corps War Memorial.